Arsenal nil, Sporting Lisbon nil, 1-0 on aggregate, and my hair's a bloody mess. The wind absolutely destroyed my hair, but what destroyed my sanity is these consistent performances. And look, I'll say this much. We were better today than we were against Bournemouth, but we really couldn't. It doesn't feel like we could in any way, shape, or form do worse than we did against Bournemouth. That was just a shit show from start to finish. Um, but these kind of games, they don't fill me with a lot of confidence. Yes, we're through, and pragmatically, it's a good result. Pragmatically, we're through to the next round of the Champions League, into the semi-finals against Atletico Madrid. Obviously, we got them away first, and then we'll have to play them at home. But you look at these performances, and you just think you don't really have a lot of confidence in these kind of competitions now. I've got no confidence going into Man City. I'll say that much now. Absolutely zero confidence in that. But also, I don't really have any confidence going into the semi-finals until these performances just get sorted out, because April is such a shit month for us. I despise the month of April. And I think this time, it all kind of goes back to the Carabao Cup final. You look at the Carabao Cup final, and you think how we played that day. We were appalling on the day. Genuinely, that did not look like a final to me. That could have passed. That could have passed as a pre-season performance. And I think losing the Carabao Cup final has really gotten into the players' heads right now that they can't get anything over the line. And I'm starting to question what's really going through their heads now, because we need a winner's mentality now more than ever. We need people who are willing to go out, get the job done, win the Premier League or win a Champions League, and stay within favour of the club. As things stand, it's not been very impressive. Attacking wise, we are absolutely dreadful right now. But defensively, we've been very solid. You remember Sporting have a very good record at home, in their home country. And they've done absolute bits against some really decent sides as well. But against us, they couldn't score once. So I would say that we do have a really impressive defence. But you look at the stats. Let's look at these stats. 50% possession, 15 shots to their 8, 1 on target to their 1. But I think that kind of tells you the story of it. I don't even recall 5 shots, if I'm honest. I don't recall 5 shots. But apparently they took 15. But we only got one of those shots was on target. So we missed 14 shots badly enough, and only one of them looked like it could have gone in. I don't even remember a shot on target. And then we had one big chance missed compared to their 1, 8 corners to their 3, and we're meant to be corner FC, but we can't score from corners now. 384 accurate passes, they're 388. That doesn't sound right to me at all, actually. I feel like we should be a bit lower, considering we weren't very accurate passing either. But we did have a slightly less passing accuracy than Sporting, at roughly 86.9% to their 87.4. It's not a lot really, but fine margins. And of course they got a yellow card, but they should have had several yellow cards. And that refereeing performance was absolutely atrocious. How many foul throws did you see in that game? How many times is that Sporting Lisbon player going to lift his foot off of the ground to take a throwing? And you can tell that the referee was not interested in it whatsoever. But still, I'm not going to put it on the referee. I'm going to look at us and I'm going to say, look, pragmatically, great result. And I don't think anyone can complain about it pragmatically. However, looking at the performances overall, we have to go to Man City. And it actually feels like we could get spanked up 3-0 at this rate. And I don't want to say it. I want to sit down and say that I'm confident that we'll get a win that will put the league firmly back into our hands. Do any of you believe that? Because I just can't see it. I want to say it. I want to say with full confidence that this team is going to beat Man City. And I do think they have the capacity to, if, and this is a big if they can just learn to get things over the line. Because April has always been an absolutely despicable month for us. And it happens every single time. I'm also worried about Noni Madueke. I don't know the extent of that injury. Hopefully it was just precaution, but I noticed he was limping as he was going around the pitch to the benches, and apparently he moved from the bench. Sorry, he moved from the benches in down to the tunnel, so that's not a good sign for me at all. But still, I'm concerned about these performances, and if we've lost Noni Madueke, I think we're fucked, frankly. Yes, you can put it on Max Dowman, of course, but I think Max Dowman's he's a youngster, and I don't think it's a great idea to put that sort of pressure on a youngster with very little actual experience playing football, or at least on a professional level. Instead, what I think will happen is they'll play either Martinelli on the left wing and Trossard on the right wing, or vice versa. Because we're not looking at a Saka right now. It doesn't sound like Saka's back anytime soon. It doesn't sound like, well, I wouldn't imagine they play Dowman, and it doesn't seem like Noni Madueke will be available for the game. And the more that we lose players, the more that I'm sitting there and thinking, we're cursed. We have to be cursed at this point. We get one player back, and we lose two more. It just feels like that's this weird curse that we have. We can't really sit down and say, at least often, that we've got a full squad, or that we have a very strong squad. But overall, I have to sit down and say, look, Sporting Lisbon, they're a really good attacking team. They score quite a lot of goals, but they couldn't score once against us, this leg or the previous one. And I think that could be a closing moment really for Gyökeres, because we've gone over to his old club, and yes, he didn't score against them. I was really hoping he would, but ultimately we've beaten them. And now that we've knocked them out of the Champions League, and we're moving on to Atletico Madrid, and this will be a different Atletico Madrid from the previous one, but it's also a very different Arsenal. And I think we've gone two completely separate ways here. We've got to look at ourselves, and we've got to say, right, improve ourselves, because no one is going to give us space. We see what's happening, and Man City, I'm fully confident in what's going to happen here. Man City will play a high press against us. That is probably the only reason, really, why we played very well today, is because Sporting, in comparison, didn't play a very high press against us, and we managed to walk around it. But Man City, on the other hand, Pep knows. He knows exactly what Mikel Arteta's thinking. He's in his head. So I do imagine it's going to be a very similar situation to the Carabao Cup final. And all I've got to say, I've got no confidence going into that game. I don't think anyone's got any confidence going into that game except Man City. But Man City fans and Man City players, they're looking at these kind of performances now and they're thinking, we ain't losing any sleep against this. But anyways, let's get into the player ratings. And starting off from goal, David Raya. I mean, was it really his best performance? No. What a terrible... I don't think he was great. I'll give him a 6. Nketiah, I'm so glad to have Nketiah back, and he actually looks more solid, to be absolutely honest, with that position instead of Lewis Skelly. And to be fair, coming from an injury and being put in a game like that and not being taken off, I think he did really well. Nketiah, I'm giving a 7. Gabriel, very average performance from Gabriel, 6. Saliba, I guess a 6 as well. Mosquera, I thought he played better than Ben White, if I'm honest. It's a pretty low bar to set. I think Ben White's been poor, but Mosquera came in and he's an upgrade defensively, and I think we need to keep playing him. I will give him a 6.5. Rice, a very average performance from Rice. I'm surprised that he's getting these average performances now, but it feels like the midfield in general has just been found out. It's our weakness now in the midfield, and we need to sort it out desperately. I'm giving him a 6. Zubimendi, better. better from Zubimendi. Not great. Not on the level we need him to be, but better compared to Bournemouth. I'm going to give him a 6.5. Eze, I expected more from Eze, really. 6. Martinelli. Okay, so Martinelli, a lot of people have been praising him. I'm looking at that performance, and I can't really think of much he did, if I'm honest. I don't think he looked crazy dangerous going forward, and I do think, however, come to think of it, actually, he did run all the way back to defend what was effectively going to be a one-on-one between the Sporting attacker and David Raya. If he didn't run back on that, I think Sporting would have scored it. So Martinelli, I think I'll give him a 7.5, and he was my man of the match. Madueke, it's not a great performance from Madueke, and he came off injured, obviously. And I am concerned about that injury, but this game wasn't his best. I'll give him a 5.5. Gyökeres, look, Gyökeres, mate. I do think he had chances in this game. I've been very defensive over Gyökeres pretty much the entirety that he's been here. Give him the opportunities. Give him the ball to his feet. He had it this time, especially in the first half, and I don't think he did anything with it. It was quite disappointing to actually watch. Gyökeres, I'm going to give him a 4. Very disappointing. Mikel Arteta, look, Mikel Arteta's got to sort this attack out now, because we're poor in the attack. Absolutely abysmal in the attack. But today, we're fortunate to go through, don't get me wrong. Sporting had a good few opportunities compared to us, and I think we're fortunate to get through it. But Arteta, I'm giving him a 6. The referee, very, very poor performance. I can't even understand what he was thinking half the time. I'm going to give him a 3. And the fans, of course, give him a 10 because, let's face it, they wanted it badly. They wanted to at least see a goal, even though we were already 1-0 up in aggregate. But anyways, that is my match review. Let me know what you think down below. Like, share, and comment, and please do subscribe. It really does help out the channel. And I will see you in the match preview for Man City versus Arsenal. I'm not looking forward to that one. But goodbye for now.